Welcome to the show, y'all. This is Stred, and y'all see I got somebody on the show with me. I probably should have had just me up and then brought him on to make it mysterious. I just thought about that right now, but it's all good. It's all good.
Man.
I'm learning. But welcome to the show, people, man. I'm glad y'all, whoever's on, is going to see this show. But as you can see, I got a guest. He's a producer. He's a beat maker. I love what he does, man. He has good beats. I checked some of his beats out. And maybe I can share maybe a beat or two on the show. I don't know. But this dude, his name is Mr. Cru2. Welcome to the show, Mr. Cru2. How you doing?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream. I can't
living
complain.
The dream?
Can't
Were you
complain.
At the beach? You at the island right
now? If I'm living a dream, it's definitely not at the beach. This is weird being from Florida.
Okay. Oh, you from Florida? So
well, I was.
I remember you told me you was raised in Pennsylvania.
Born in Pennsylvania, raised in Florida, living in. I'm everywhere, man.
Okay. Okay. Well, man, it's good to have you on. I want to start off with some basic stuff, and I want to, I think one of the purpose of having you on with me too is the kind of, I guess you could say, teach people, a little bit here and there, but also kind of go over some things that will encourage other producers who may be watching, but also get some recognition for rappers who may be watching, other artists who may be watching, because I believe you're a really good producer. And I just want to, I know you're like, man, don't size me up anymore. I want to start off, man, with Mr. Cru2. Where does that name come from? How you get that name number 2 on it?
Well, all right. So it's SEO friendly. So like I say it's Mr. Cruz, but the 2 is a Z. So like I used to have that on my Instagram to kind of like help clarify that, because like some dudes on dudes will rap over the beat and say like, "What up, Mr. Cru2? What up, Mr. Cru?" And then it's like, well, it's Mr. Cruz, but the 2 is a Z. But that's just like that's just marketing, man. It's I when I was kind of not coming up with a name, but when I was doing that stuff, is just like, I type in Mr. Cruz, a million other people pop up, but I put a 2 at the end, and I'm the only one that pops up. So
that's the same thing with my name, Strid, man. I found somebody else with Strid with 1 D, so I was like, I'm gonna use 2 Ds.
There we go.
I didn't want to, but it is what it is. But I like how you are pushing your brand too. You're pushing on YouTube, pushing it on Facebook, you pushing on Instagram. I'm sure I haven't seen much. I haven't really followed you much on Instagram, but one thing I like is that you're teaching how to do certain things, and you're teaching people how to make beats. Like the latest video, which I'm gonna play a little shortly, was on that program. If you can remind me what program that was.
It's called Band Lab. It's it's like Google Docs for music production. So it's all web-based. It's free. It's like 100% free. Like you don't have to pay extra for like a pro version and then get like more features. It's straight up free, and it allows you to like collaborate with other people. I came across it because at my school they gave me an option. I teach math, and it's like, hey, well, we have this room to teach an extra class. You can teach whatever you want, but like we can't give you any kind of funding for it. Like, you just gotta do whatever you want to do. So then I found this program, and I started teaching my students how to make beats.
I was going to say, man, you're a teacher too. I was going to ask, do you teach students still right now?
Yeah, we're doing 7th. I've been teaching 7th grade math at the same school this is my 4th year. Yeah. And we're teaching in the building and all that stuff. Teaching in the building and virtual.
Okay. So you're not necessarily teaching people about like audio production stuff, but math.
Well, most of the time, like 90% of my day, it's math, and then there's like 45 minutes where I get to kind of teach them, like, hey, go jump on this thing real quick. I'm gonna show you how to make a drum loop. And
okay, that's cool, man. So you a math wizard?
I wouldn't say that. That's a stretch.
All right.
So if I have something, I got you.
You got me. I was going to
do your taxes.
I was going to say, if I got some problems with my taxes or something, I know who to go to. But man, I know who to go to for some production tips. So that's what we're going to talk about, man. You know. How long have you been producing beats? How long have you been making beats?
Since I was about 16. That's when I got like my first keyboard. It was like a Roland Phantom. I mowed lawns all summer to save up money for it. So that kind of always gives me a kick. Like when I see people like, oh, well, I can't do that. Or like, I don't have the time or I don't have the money. And blah, like, man, like go out, mow some lawns, go Uber for a couple weeks and, do that. But it started then when I was 16, bought my first keyboard. I was obviously still in high school. So I mainly made beats for like a couple of my friends. And it was just like me making the beat in the keyboard, connecting like an output jack into like my computer, hitting record on Audacity, and then like that's pretty much all we knew how to do or all we were capable of doing. But eventually it evolved to like, well, now I want to make beats for like my own records, and took a long hiatus, and then kind of decided to get back into it about 3 years ago, and then really go hard.
Okay, and that was the Roland what again?
It was a Roland Phantom.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I gave it away, man. It was like a $2,000 keyboard, and I gave it to someone for free. For free, man. Wow. I wasn't using it anymore. Like it's
but what about
production
now?
game? Yeah, now I wish I had it just for like the sake of flexing. Like it would look really nice in the studio.
Yeah,
it had some pretty cool sounds, but I don't know. I don't miss it, but I was like, man, 21-year-old me was real stupid by doing that.
So you got beats, man. I like I said, you know, do you go for a certain sound before you make your beats, or is it based on sometimes what the artist want? Like, are you working with any artists too, by the way? Are you just making beats right now just to kind of sell them right now?
It's man, I wish I had a good answer for that, man. I think on the outside, people probably see like what I do. I know you say you're like, oh man, I haven't checked out a lot of your stuff on Instagram, but like I think people see a lot of that stuff on Instagram and think like, man, that dude he's really working, he's killing it and whatnot. But like in all honesty, I'm just like holding like a fistful of darts and just throwing it at the wall. And then like if something hits, then like, all right, well then that worked. So like, I'm gonna keep trying to do that.
Yeah.
I mainly make stuff just kind of like whatever mood I'm in or kind of whatever I'm feeling. But I try to not stick to the same kind of stuff for like more than like a couple of weeks. I'm kind of coming off of, making a lot of boom bap beats for like the past several weeks. And now kind of like, all right, man, I kind of miss making some trap beats. Like, let me make some more trap beats. And stuff like that. But I don't really work. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you're kind of like me in a way, because I'll make beats and, I'm like throwing darts. Whatever starts to sound good, I'll just start to create from that sound, And yeah, I know what you mean. Not wanting to stay on the beat for so long, because I think as artists we can stay on music, especially artists or producers who aren't really as skilled as the professional producers, because professional producers will get it done. I think amateur producers will hold on to it and just let it sit and not, push it out. And that's a trap that they get into. Do you feel like you fall into that trap sometimes?
I did until probably like maybe 2 years ago, man. It would take me, it used to take me like weeks to like several days to like several weeks to like make a beat, to make one beat. And then it was just like, I think, Kato, the producer, have you heard of him or follow him?
No, I haven't.
Kato.
I haven't.
He has said something about like, if you're just starting out, worry about the quantity, the quality will come later. And then so that's kind of what I kind of committed myself to, like, all right, I'm going to put out one beat every single week. If it's not mixed, if it's not mastered, if it's not arranged by Friday, then whatever, that's what I'm putting out, and it's going to be trash. And I put out a lot of trash for like several months, but eventually, you learn those little shortcuts to kind of help streamline your process. And now it's like, the quality is much better, but I can still maintain, like, because I've been able to maintain the consistent quantity and like, still, put out stuff on a regular basis. Now it can just kind of put out more.
Yeah. Hey man, I know we're gonna have a lot of good stuff to talk about because we both do
That's
like
right,
the same thing. That's what's up, man. So
let me ask you something though. Did you make that beat on the intro?
Nah, I didn't. Nah.
Oh man,
I would like to say fire. I did, but I didn't.
That joke was slapping, man.
I know, right? I just found that on YouTube. I was like, okay, the beat with the countdown. Okay, hold up.
It was dope.
Yeah. I was gonna make my own beat with it, but I was like, nah, this one's too hot. But yeah, I want to go back to what you said, man. About create quality, because when I create beats, I noticed that my beat may not sound good sometimes, and sometimes the old bad habit that I used to have was going to a new beat and not finishing that old beat because that old beat sounded whack to me. I'll move on, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to mess with this anymore.
You've already heard it so many times that it's like not new to you, so you're like, this is boring.
But what I've learned is I think since I'm getting better with creating beats and the quality of creating beats, that I can still make this beat sound hot because I can make a good quality out of it. So I've learned that even though it's starting to sound bad, eventually it's going to get better because I'm getting better. But the quality, once you get that quality with the how well you develop the beat, you got a lot of times you have to have patience.
Yeah, but honestly, putting out trash, I would say in my opinion, it was like, man, that was trash. Putting out a lot of trash, it was like kind of serendipitous in a way, because what ended up happening is like people would comment on my stuff and be like, yo, your 808 is out of tune. And then so I just message them back like, all right, how would I fix that? Like, can you show, how would you fix it? And then like I ended up learning a lot of hacks and a lot of tricks that like, man, like I didn't know that that's what people were doing. Like it was like till what? About 3-4 years ago, like when I kind of started getting back into it, that like before that I had never tuned my 808s. I'd never tuned my drums,
Exactly. Yeah, that's something new that I had to learn about the 808, tuning it. And the 808, the bass can be hidden. When it's blended in with all the other instruments, it's kind of hidden. I think when it's not tuned, it can still sound good until you get to it and play it solo. Then you're like, whoa, I need to tweak this song. And so, yeah, I know what you mean.
Big facts.
Yeah. But yeah, man, yo, I want to pull up, a video that you was talking about some things, and you got some other videos on there. Maybe we can go to them next time. But
bet.
Yeah, man. First of all, I think you already told me what BandLab was, right?
Yeah.
What do you like about BandLab while I pull it up?
Well, I like that it's free. And I like that it's very, very limited. So like it kind of really made it easy in a way to show my students. Because there's no way I'm gonna like pull open Pro Tools or Logic and then expect a kid in like, the course of a 40-minute class to be able to create something, substantial. Like with BandLab, it's super easy, and it kind of cuts out a lot of those extra creative things that like professionals really appreciate, but that like an amateur is not going to really need and not going to have the time to kind of learn and grow in that area. So it's really simple. And I mean, I teach the kids like a little, 5-minute tutorial. Sometimes I tell them like, hey, go on my YouTube and go watch this video. And then, by the end of class, they are able to make like, a 8-bar loop of a beat that like, that kind of slaps,
Okay. So I got this video. We're gonna kind of skim through it as best as we can. But on this video, you're talking about changing the key of a loop in BandLab. Let's just kind of go. We're gonna skip that logo that you don't like.
And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can change the key of whatever loop and whatever session that you're in, how you can change the key so that the rest of your loops will automatically sync to whatever the new key is. All right, so for starters, what we're going to do, usually when you when you open up BandLab, this is kind of the default settings that you have here. It's usually set to 120 BPM, and then the song key is actually blank. But for measures, I gotta not forget to do this to set my snap grid on. All right, so you might have a scenario where either you're using a loop, festive jam.
No. All right, so I wanted to ask you a question about this because you're pulling loops from the side. Do they usually have their own loops? Are these their loops, or are these loops that you found online?
Nah, those are all like BandLab has like tons of proprietary loops that I mean, I don't know who made them or whatever, but like they have pretty much several genres, several different styles, a whole bunch of different elements. And I've been like teaching stuff on BandLab for about 3 years. Yeah. And so like when I go back and make a new video and stuff, like I say like, oh, well now like recently they started to include like drum samples in there. Mm-hmm. So now you don't have to just drag a drum loop in there. You could kind of like, copy and paste the kick and kind of create your own pattern and stuff like that.
Okay. And when you look for loops, like do you usually look online and do you look for free loops or do you make them sometimes?
Man, that's a point of contention right there. I mean, I could go on a rant on like stuff about loops and stuff.
That's a whole nother day, huh?
That's yeah. But I like to stick to loops mainly with people that I know. Just because like it, to me personally, like it just makes any kind of exclusivity or like placement issues a lot less stressful in the future, because like I've got a direct line to the guy that I've been collaborating with for like the past 2 years to say like, hey man, I Lil Casserole wants this beat and he's using your loop, like let's cut it 50-50, and they're going to be happy, as opposed to me using a Scott Storch loop and him being like, yeah, I want 90% of your publishing, because
that's a no other topic, man. I can't speak right, but that's a whole other topic. Because then you start talking about selling beats, I think, and you talk about copyright, because I think a lot of people wonder, am I copyrighting the loop from online if I use their loop? Is this loop really free? Because this loop sounds like it came from a popular song. So let me play some more of this
loop. Let's say I found this vocal loop, Festive Jam. No. All right, vocal cluster. I like that one. So let's drag vocal cluster in. Now, in case you, oh man, let me do that again. In case you didn't know, BandLab lets you know the key of your loops. So for example, this one, vocal cluster, it's set to C minor. So right now I'm in C major. So originally it sounded like, those are all the majors. So originally it sounded like this. I'm going to adjust.
I think that's cool that it changes the key for you like that. That seems like very easy feature on BandLab.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty dope. You ever use Arcade?
Nah, I keep seeing these advertisements about them though.
It's the sauce, man. It's
really
the sauce.
Yeah. Really,
but it kind of does
so much hype. It's so much hype. It better be the sauce.
I'll say this, man. I canceled my Splice subscription so that I could get Arcade, because Arcade is subscription based too. But it's okay, and it kind of does the same thing where it'll detect the BPM of whatever session you're working in, but then the loops or the melodies and stuff like that are in the plugin that you get to search through, you can kind of change the key to say. But it's better than using a regular loop, because like, I don't know, it's just the sauce, man. You got to check it out.
It seems like every time I see the advertisement, they say how easy it is to make something hot. Is that true?
Dude, all right. So my wife, several months ago, she was like using my trap beats for like her like little makeup videos. I was like, babe, you gotta stop doing that, because like your viewers and your audience is like the marketing in me. Like that's not what they want to hear. Like they don't want to, like, you looking beautiful and stuff like that, getting all dazzled up. Like that's great, but they don't want to hear like a Rick Ross beat. Like while you're doing that, it just doesn't fit. So I made just like 21-minute long instrumental tracks, and like some of them are like country, some of them are like rock, some of them lo-fi and stuff like that, like stuff that's just more contemporary and fitting for her audience and like the stuff that she's doing. Dude, I did all of it in Arcade.
Yeah, and it was hot, huh?
And bro, some of them I was like, yo man, this loop is fire, I'm gonna make a beat out of it and like put it on my store. Yeah man, it's a gem. It's a gem.
Wow. I'm gonna play some more of this.
I've got a loop that I made in another DAW that I want to import into BandLab and make a beat out of that. And so mine sounds like this.
So explain this again. This is something that you pulled from your other DAW.
Yeah, software? So I had made a loop in Reason, and then so I think in the video I show like, so now I'm gonna drag my loop in Reason from Reason into BandLab. But then if I change the key in BandLab, all their loops are gonna match the key of the loop that I brought in, or that I created.
Okay.
The problem is that my loop, the loop that I created, is in B flat major. So if I drag it in here right now as it is, it's not going to sound good. All right, so what I got to do is I got to change all that stuff up first.
So the whole idea is to make the loop match up as far as the key to the and it seems like it's very easy to do in this software compared to like Fruity Loops.
Yeah,
I don't think they have this feature. Like I don't, unless I'm not looking hard enough. But if they come up with this, I'm all over this because
that's just how I am, man. Like when I save, like when I write down my beats or when I send people loops, I gotta include I've gotten into the habit of including the tempo and including the scale or like what key it's in. Just to like avoid that confusion. I mean, there's websites out there that'll do it for you. You like just drag the file in there, and it'll detect it on its own. But yeah, this is
wow.
It's not bad.
Okay.
First up is my loop is set to 152 BPM, so I'm going to change the BPM to 152, and then we are going to adjust. And then my key is B flat major, so I'm going to change my key right here to B flat major. B flat major, change it, and now when I drag my loop in, it should sound much better. Man, I'm ready to make some fire with this right now. Anyways, so there you go. That's how you can change the song key of whatever beat or whatever session or whatever song.
Cool. That's the gist of the video, changing the key. Why is it important for producers like you to change the key? Or why is it important? Is it something that you just like to do? Is this something that you usually do with beats?
Bro, it's so I tune almost everything. Usually not necessarily like the kick and the snare. And I know that sounds bad because I know there are people out there that tune their kicks. But it's just, it goes to music theory. Like so much of music production, of making beats and stuff like that, is music theory. And a big part of music theory is like, hey, if you play an instrument or if you play a melody and then you want another melody to accompany it, both melodies should be in the same key. That's going to help them to sound good. So
that's cool, man. So did you go to school? I mean, did you learn about theory and all? Did you go to school for audio production?
Bro, I mean, I don't know how old you are. I don't want to ask, but I'm 35.
Okay.
When I really,
hey, I'm not.
You remember Pogs, man?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Did he say Pogs?
How many Tamagotchis did you kill in middle school?
Wow. I was like one of them kids who was like, Pogs, really? I don't want to play this. And then somebody was like, yo, this is the game. Let's play it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. But yeah.
But yeah, man, it goes back to like when I was 16 and I bought that keyboard, man, and like, there wasn't YouTube. The only way that I could learn how to do it, how to use that stuff, is like to read the manual, and like that's kind of how I learned a lot of what I learned before kind of YouTube came around. It's just reading manuals, man.
Wow, so you did the old school way, because now everybody learning from YouTube, from other producers. Yeah. Wow, you literally read it, man. You literally taught yourself. Wow, impressive.
Yeah, man. I even did it like because I use Reason currently. I even did it with Reason, and I mean I still go back through it and like because I mean it has 50 some odd different instruments in there, and like there's just stuff in there that like, oh, I didn't know that you could do this, and there's no YouTube videos out there talking about it because like YouTube videos keep it pretty general, you know, because like they kind of want to catch as many people as possible. So you can't be super specific about like, well, here is what an LFO does. Like people don't care. People just want to say like, how is that going to affect my sound? You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I just love to do that. And we were talking earlier how I just got FL Studio, and like even today in my lunch break, I was like reading through the manual and like in like just the 40 minutes that I spent reading through the manual to like just learn some stuff to see, you know, what can it do.
And when before the show, we talked about that. Like Fruity Loops never sent me a manual. All the times I got the count. What's up with that, Fruity Loops? I'm gonna send them a letter.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send
them. Bro, no cap. Oh my gosh, I gotta talk about this because as I was reading through the manual, like it said something in the manual, and I was like, "Yo, FL image line, y'all are out of pocket for that one." So it was talking about it was like something in the settings, in like the general settings, something called transparent windows. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says like transparent windows. Options include off, no transparency for inactive windows. Quote, real men don't do transparency.
What? Did they really say that?
Yeah, I kid you not, bro. I'll send you the screenshot.
Wow.
I was like, yo, image. At least they got somewhat of a sense of humor.
Sense of humor. They do have a sense of humor. I remember seeing a video. I thought it was really creative. It was really cool. It was a video that showed different images like outer space, on Earth. It was like nature parts, but they had like these subtitles and the beat playing to kind of demonstrate this is what this part of the beat sounds. This is the incline. So they would show something like the incline of a mountain or something. Yeah, but it was very creative because it allows you to see visually what was happening in the music. So they coming up in all sorts of ways, man. I guess they showing their personality too. Fruity Loops, you know, every time I tell people I use Fruity Loops, they're like, really? What is that? Fruity Loops.
What is Fruity Loops? There we go.
Right?
There we go. Yeah, man. It was Fruity Loops back in the day. And I mean, I remember using Fruity Loops back then, and it was like, it was so trash. I don't say trash, but it was pretty limited. You know,
it was. Yes. First time I used it was in high school. A friend of mine had it, and I got it from him. And
it was a joke. Like, and then now it's like it did the same. So here, Fruity Loops or FL Studio took the same route that Champion did, because when we were in school, like Champion was like the off-brand Nike, and now like you rocking Champion, like yo, you dripping, like you.
I think I heard of Champion only one time. I never heard of it much, but I heard that was a good software.
Oh no, Champion the clothes.
Oh, what? Maybe I'm getting that mixed up with something.
I don't have my jacket in here, but I got a Champion jacket. Yeah, man. Like I see all the students now like rocking Champion, and I guess it's like because of some sponsorship with LeBron that like Champion took off, and now they're like popping. They're like a popping name brand.
Okay, Champion of clothes. Yeah. All right, wow. Boom. Okay. Anywho, yeah, I want to play this beat because you got some cool beats, and if anybody's watching, you know, they get to hear your cool beats you got, you know, going on. So, you know, I'm sizing you up a little bit more.
Oh man, I can't handle compliments.
Let me see. Let me bring this up. This is on his YouTube page. Anybody who's watching, just follow Mr. Cru2. Subscribe to him. He got some nice beats, man. This is one of them.
They're okay. Oh, Climax. Yeah, this is one of my dude, Climax. Okay. He's a fellow Reason user. And so
okay.
Mr. Cruz, you're just a girl.
Is this the most recent beat? This not.
Nah, this one's. Wait, you're on YouTube, right?
Yeah. Actually, I didn't look at the. Hold on. I got a full screen, so I can't see the date.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I had a friend of mine in Belgium play the bass guitar on that.
Okay. That's tight.
Yeah, and I think all three of us now are Reason users.
We're gonna go back to that Reason topic because I thought you wasn't using Reason.
I'm still on it because I got to make beats, and so. But I'm learning FL little by little.
Okay. So man, I like this. It kind of has that boom bap, feel that you told me a little earlier. And was this one of them beats you was in your boom bap?
Yeah, during that phase. Yeah, during that phase.
Okay.
Because then I feel like sometimes, I mean, maybe, or just like the creator, where it's like, if I make so many, I don't know, let's say, I'm trying to think of an artist that I like say YBN Cordae. Like I like his stuff. If I make a lot of beats that are like in his style, or J. Cole.
Okay.
If I make a lot of J. Cole type beats, then I'm gonna lose touch with like how to make a, Rick Ross type beat, or I don't know, the Baby type beat or something like that. So I always gotta like switch it up. And the same thing goes for like, oh man, I haven't sampled a record in a while. Like, let me sample a record.
So you switch it up. That's good. I try to switch it up too. You can get caught up in just making the same old same. And people, I mean, it's not bad that people know you because of your style, right? But cool. Actually, that beat was made January 20th. So I think you had a later beat than that.
Probably long before. But I also stopped uploading my beats to YouTube.
For real?
Not because of like, oh, people are gonna steal it. It's just like I look at the trends and the statistics on like my YouTube and my analytics and stuff like that, and I just see that like people don't come to my YouTube to like listen to beats. They're coming for like the tutorials and stuff like that. So I'm trying to keep more of the tutorials on there, and then save the beats for Instagram.
Yeah. So people they know what you do. You don't I guess you don't want to kind of be all over the place when they go to your YouTube, right? Like they see beats and then they see this and that. I get you. So let's talk a little bit about that real quick. Like, are you selling your beats like online? Do you have a website?
Yeah. I got a BeatStars, and then like I got a BeatStars membership, but also got a Squarespace where I've kind of like integrated the two. But yeah, I sell beats. I want to say, oh man, I don't even know how, like, I don't want to like say stuff and then sound braggy and weird flex and stuff like that. But I'll say
bring it on out.
There we go. January. So like we just wrapped up January, and like one of the things that I kind of promised myself, kind of going into the new year, like setting a New Year's resolution, I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna stop being so timid about like my music. Like I'm dope. I know I'm dope. I'm tired of like hiding my light under a bushel. Like I'm gonna be confident in my music and stuff like that. So I wanted to be like have that more attitude, but I also wanted to be on camera more. Because like you kind of saw that video, like that's what I would post on Instagram, is just that video of like a GIF to kind of promote my beats. So then I started making videos of my beats where like you can see my face in there. And I will say, I don't know if that's the case, or just having like a confident mindset, but like January was like my most profitable month like that I've ever had. And I made more money selling beats in January than all of the money that I made last year, like 50%. I made 50% of what I made last year last month. If that makes sense. So 2020's profits is twice as much as what I made in January. Oh, that's the math.
And you would say that's mainly because you started to do what? What was the difference?
I was. Oh man, we can go on this, man. We can go down this road because I'm naturally a teacher, man. I'll start spewing off the gems and like, hey man, this is what you got to do. And it's like knowing your brand and market. Yeah.
In a quick summary, if you can, does it have something to do with the way you market it on Instagram, or is it
I would say I started. I post two to three videos a week of my beats. So, but I post maybe 14 videos or 14 snippets or clips or stuff like that a week. Only 3 of them are like actually promoting like the product that I have, if that makes sense. So doing that, and I used to get so much flack from like my friends. I'll be like, man, you're on TikTok, man, that's stupid. We use some like teenage girls, stuff like that. But like I started making videos on TikTok to kind of like just express myself and, you know, show my sense of humor more. And that really helped to kind of connect me with my brand, like to connect my brand with like the other people out there, because, you know, I would post something about, you know, oh man, I just throw, you know, somebody asked me to master a track, and hit master assist, and then that's done. You know,
So
give me my $100.
Yeah,
and then there's so many other producers who probably do something like that, and we're like, oh man, that's hilarious.
So TikTok though, because you know, I always hear about TikTok, you know, but I don't know much about it. What made you go to TikTok? Did you find out that
quarantine
other producers? quarantine you was bored and was like, let me look at TikTok.
Bro, that was my wife has been on it, and like my wife, she's also like a content creator, so like she does like a lot of makeup videos, like you know. So she was doing a lot of stuff on that. She was like, oh, you should do this TikTok with me. So I would do videos with her. Eventually I got on and started doing a couple videos, and I kind of didn't get a sense of like what my lane should be or like how I should use it. So I would post a video here, wouldn't post anything for like 2 weeks, post another video. But during quarantine, like one of my videos went viral, and then so like my TikTok page was like started to blow up. And then I kind of like, man, well, like maybe it blew up, and then I ended up making like a couple of sales from it, because and I didn't share any music. It was just like a little skit about getting a PayPal notification from selling a beat. But people asked like, oh, well, like, where can I hear some of your beats? And then ended up, you know, landing a couple sales. So then I kind of just started looking at that as like, well, this is a pretty useful tool or useful platform that I can kind of use to market myself or to like further enhance my brand. So now I post a video, I like do a video on TikTok every single day. But I mainly just use TikTok because of the way that the platform is. I use it to make videos, and I mainly share it to Instagram because like I end up getting a lot more love on Instagram than I do on TikTok.
Yeah, it seems like Instagram is a lovable place to be whenever you're sharing stuff like that. Like for some reason, it's easy for people to find what you're posting. Is really, I mean, it's a good marketing place. I feel like it's more marketable than like Twitter or Facebook. But
and that's so weird, man, because like out of all the platforms, like I love Twitter the most.
Really okay.
I spend most of my time, most of my day on Twitter.
I don't think I like Twitter as much as the other ones. I think I like Twitter the least.
Really?
Maybe if I used it more.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I felt the exact same way.
Yeah.
But then one of my friends, he was like, nah, man, like you really got to be on Twitter. Like Twitter is where you seal the deals. And eventually, like I just started to like it, man. It's just
cool.
It's dope.
I want to shift gears real quick, man. Have you produced music lately for like any Christian rap artists? Have you done anything, or have you sent some beats for some Christian rap artists lately?
Man, that's weird because like I've sold like that's a lot of my circle, right? So like I don't say like my clientele or like my audience or whatever. Like that's my circle. Like a lot of my artists who are friends of mine like do Christian hip hop music. I've sold a lot of beats to Christian hip hop artists. I've never heard any of them put anything out yet.
Really?
Yeah, wow. But I mean, I get it. That's kind of like the nature of when you're working with a lot of artists nowadays, where it's like, all right, like some dude literally a couple weeks ago bought a beat, and then he was like, yeah, man, this is gonna make a great like summer bop. I was like, man, I don't want to wait 6 months to like hear what you're gonna put out to that. But yeah, man, I mean, I wish I could say like, hey man, go check this dude out, and I produced like a couple songs on his track, but like no, I've sold a lot of beats to people, but I haven't had a lot of people put anything out to it yet. But
That's interesting, man. So how does that feel coming from y'all? I know you're selling it, you're not giving it away for free, but still I feel like you gotta kind of feel some type of way. Like, and is it exclusive, or is it one of those beats that's okay, so anybody else can take the beat?
Yeah, I try to stick to leases as much as possible. I've sold very few exclusives. And then I kind of realized that like the few exclusives that I did sell, I was like, dang, like I pretty much gave that beat away. Yeah. So then I had to like hike up my prices on exclusives, and then they kind of stopped buying them. So I was like, all right, well that's cool, because I caught one of my friends. He's like more major into like the music industry. So like he's done stuff for like TV and for country artists and stuff like that. So like he knows the business, like he knows it really well. He's like, yeah, man, like you shouldn't sell beats for $30. Like you shouldn't sell that, like leases and stuff like that. Like, you know, I wouldn't sell a beat for less than $500. Yeah. Or like I kind of wanted, like I somewhat want to flex and send him a screenshot. I was like, hey man, this is a beat I sold, you know, 7 times, and I've made $500 from it, and I still have the exclusive right. So like that beat could make me $500 next month, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I try not to feel some type of way. I know it's a business. If they're gonna sit on it, they're gonna sit on it. But I just gotta kind of keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, you're consistent. I think that's all that matters. You know, you're not gonna always hit the consistent Christian rap artists who are,
that's true. And usually those guys, like, they've already got like their core group of producers that they work with, which you know, I'm not trying to take anybody's thunder, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Working with artists can be a trip, though, man. Have you ever recorded any Christian rap artists or any artists ever worked with?
So there's a guy that I work with here locally in Lynchburg. He's his name's Najee. He's dope. Like he's just like one of the most talented lyricists that I've ever heard, especially at his age. He's a little bit younger than we are. And like I love working with him because like his stuff has content, like his stuff has depth. He did a song like around this time last year where it was like not long, actually it wasn't around this time last year, it was a little bit later, but like after, you know, the whole Ahmaud Arbery, you know, stuff came to light. So like he made a song kind of, you know, as like an anthem of that, you know. And it was just like, to me, that like I was very proud to have had a part in kind of creating that song. It didn't get major plays. You know, it's not on the Billboard 100, but like if I died today, I was like, man, musically, that's the thing I'm proud of the most.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, it's cool to get some music out by artists who are definitely like, you know, they definitely have a plan, and you know, once you hear their stuff and once they put it out, you feel much better than the artists you sing music to and they don't do anything with your music.
But 1000%, man. And like the artists that like, you know, they buy a beat and they make a really dope song, but it's like, well, dude, like, you know, it doesn't match my brand, so like I'm not gonna share it on my stories, or I can't share like, you know, I like you, man, you're a dope dude, and like we're friends and we're cool, but like, you know, on top of that, like I'm a teacher, so like, you know, if you did like a WAP remix to one of my beats, I can't share it. Like, you know, parents and students follow me on there too, so you gotta, you know, I gotta be mindful of what I also share with some artists.
Yeah, I have probably one more question, man. This is an interesting question, I think, because you know, you're a Christian, I'm a Christian. You make beats. Sometimes I wonder, putting beats out like online, you know, you could get secular rappers to come and be like, I want this beat. Do you ever run across rappers who they rap? You may have heard their songs. I don't know. Maybe you haven't. Somebody probably bought a beat from you. You didn't know what type of music they did, but like maybe you have run across some artists and you hear their music and it's explicit profanity and everything else. Are you concerned about that at all when you sell your beats online, or have you run into that situation?
I've kind of only ran into it once, and it was like a long time ago. Like, I mean, that is a interesting question. That is interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not one of these like, yo, I gotta keep it politically correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you against it too? Like, if somebody else buys a beat, like,
nah. All right, so I'll start there.
Okay.
I'm not against it, right? I'll sell my beat to whoever. I mean, to me, like, I love making music, and like, it started as a hobby, but like, it's evolving into a business for me. So like, I do, and that's also another thing. Like, sometimes I get like artists who be like, well, man, do it for the kingdom. I was like, well, I feel you. I love you to death. Like, I'll be happy to work with you, but like, I can't take a loss on it, because like, then my family like is in the hole, or then a subscription or pay my fees and whatever. So I have to make a profit in order to be able to sustain myself. But what people don't see on the back end is like, artists like Najee that like I work with, who is a Christian artist, and he does put out empowering and encouraging content like that. He's never paid for a beat. So the secular artist who ends up giving me $50 for a beat allows me to be able to, Najee, like, here's this beat for free. Oh, let's shoot a video. Here's, $100 for the director, so that we can kind of put that stuff out. So a lot of the money that I make from certain artists doesn't only go to me, but it helps to like funnel and support other artists who, kind of are furthering the mission, and who do share a vision with me.
Okay.
It's a weird dichotomy, man. And I may be wrong on that whole thing, and I'm pretty sure there's people who like would probably disagree and be like, nah, man, like, but I could not imagine being, again, as a business, I could not imagine being a carpenter and then saying like, well, I'm only gonna service Christian households, or I'm only gonna build stairs in a Christian home, and or stuff like that. You kind of go into what Paul says, like, you got to be all things to all people, but also at the end of the day, like, if selling beats to secular artists gets me in their circle and allows me to be a good influence in their lives, to be able to build that relationship and then share the gospel, then I'll be wrong if that's the case. I'll be wrong.
I mean, what you just said is a good mindset, I think, to have. You can think about how maybe they can use your music and maybe they can blow up more because of that. But if it's an opportunity to reach out to them, and like you said, be in a circle and present the gospel, God is looking at that. I don't think he's looking at what happened to the music, because he knows your heart. So I think the heart that you have is good. We're always going to have people who are going to be like, that's not right.
How much shade does Lecrae get thrown every single time he does complete some major milestone,
we don't know what he does behind the scenes. Like, we really don't know his life behind music, what he does when he's working with artists. So I always say that, and I'm sure he thinks the same thing, and he has a lot to say, man,
that's
about that
well,
stuff.
If you're on Twitter, you see it all the time. That's what I'm saying.
True. Yeah. Well, bro, this is the end of the show, man. I'm glad to have you on the show. I think we got a lot of good stuff talked about, and I think we can talk about a ton of stuff, and I can't wait to bring you back on.
Oh, man.
You want to share anything else, like where people can find you or whatnot?
Yeah, man. So so kind of what my handle is right there, at MR_CRU2. That's me on every single platform. So on TikTok, on YouTube, pretty sure if you just Google MR, .CRU2 or _CRU2, you'll be able to find me. But I'm most active on Twitter and Instagram, though.
Cool. I'm gonna stop calling you Mr. Cru2, but Mr. Cruz.
Mr. Cruz. Yeah, there you go, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. And anybody else who's watching, I'm glad y'all took the time to check us out. Be sure to also follow me. Irregularraps.com is still in the works, but it's up, it's running. And any artists who may be watching, y'all can submit some music to me. You want me to promote your music on my YouTube platform through audio visualizers or my website, send me an email. Let me know what your music is about. Send me a bio, send me, the cover artwork. And, I'm happily willing to, promote your music. So, yeah. Thank you all for listening. This is Irregular Raps with your host, Stred and Cruz. We are out of here. Till next time.